Hello guys and welcome back to another video. I know I haven't uploaded in a while, but I wanted to come back with a bit of a splash, a bit of a bang. I think this is a good idea. Making a scouting video on some unheralded second round prospects that the Pacers could draft, just to bring some awareness to my fellow Pacers fans of who we could watch out for in the second round. Because in the first, with our first round pick, our sixth pick, or if it's the fourth pick or whatever, you know who we're looking for. You know, Jaden Ivey, Shadion Sharp, Benedict Mathurin, Keegan Murray, AJ Griffin, you know, those kind of guys. In the second round, it's way less, you know, there's a list of like 30, 20 something dudes who we could take with our second round pick. So, I think I'm going to bring awareness to a few players that I've found that I just kind of fall in love with when I watch their film, because in the second round you've got a lot more, you know, risky guys, you know, some guys that are kind of unheard of, that people don't really know, that you watch their game and you're just like, oh my goodness, how's this guy going in the second round? And that is the feeling I get with Scotty Pippen J.R. I saw that he was working out with the Pacers, and I was like, that's Scotty Pippen's kid. I need to check some of his film out. I expected him to be a forward. I expected him to be a bit bigger than he is. He's 6'1", 170 pounds, so he's playing point guard. But I watched this dude's film, and oh my goodness, I have fallen in love with the way this guy plays the game. I'm going to read you the scouting report that I wrote down, and then kind of break it down a bit more after that. His statistics look very appealing. That's true. He's averaged, like, last year he averaged like 20 points with almost 2 steals a game, almost 5 assists. Like, he had good stats. I'll show them on the screen. His stats, very appealing. His shooting percentages, pretty nice too. He is like if you took a kid with extreme ADHD and gave him D1 basketball talent. Pippen Jr. is always moving. Completely true. On defense, his hands are always active. On offense with the ball, he's doing all kinds of moves, freaking all kinds of fakes, jukes, dribbling in between the legs. When you watch him dribble and try and create space, it kind of makes you think, I'm not comparing him to Kyrie, but it kind of makes you think of like a Kyrie, just someone whose hands are always active, always moving, always doing something with the ball. There is rarely a moment where they're just holding the ball standing still. He loves to use a wide arsenal of moves to get open around the basket, reverse layups, spin moves, jukes, using opponents' size against them, that kind of stuff. I would give this guy the Hall of Fame Giant Slayer badge from 2K. Like, it's like some Isaiah Thomas, Kyrie Irving, Allen Iverson type stuff. When he's undersized in the paint, and he just uses a wide arsenal of moves to just, you know, it doesn't matter how tall you are, he's getting around you. It's really fun to watch. He's pretty athletic, he's fast, and he's got some decent hops too, so his athleticism is not in question, in my opinion. Maybe not the best ball mover, but he has amazing scoring ability. His assist numbers, averaging about 4 or 5 assists a game, so not the best as a primary ball handler, but I think in the NBA he'd be less of a primary ball handler, and he'd be more used for his scoring ability. His jumper is very nice and somewhat consistent. His three-point percentage is pretty decent, and his field goal percentage is pretty decent, so it's not like he's super inconsistent, but he's not super consistent either. He's young. He needs time to develop just like everyone else. He has outdueled top SEC players. That's true. I watched him play AJ Griffin, or not AJ Griffin, Ty Washington against Kentucky. Pretty good. He's active on defense, but might get bullied more physically in the NBA. Like I said, he's 6'1", 170 pounds. So he could get bullied a bit more on defense physically, but you'll find out later. Like, later on, I say that he's kind of like... Here, I'm just going to go through it that way. I'll explain that later. He has a great handle on the ball and only turned it over 3 times a game this past year. Overall, I love his game and think he is like a TJ McConnell who is more efficient at scoring the ball. And another thing, he always tries to draw fouls on shots, which I personally, I always enjoy players that try to draw fouls, because it just shows that they're gritty, they're tough, they want to take contact, they want to do whatever it takes to get extra points on the board, which is really, really valuable in the NBA. I think that TJ McConnell with a 3-point shot is a very accurate comparison for him, because like TJ McConnell, he's active around the basket, has a wide arsenal of moves that he can use to get open around guys that are way bigger than him. His ball movement is worse than TJ McConnell's in that comparison, but I think it could develop to get a bit better with how good he is at creating space for himself. I think he will eventually learn that when he creates space for himself, he subsequently can create space for his teammates. And I think if he can get his court vision to be a bit better, then he will see that more often and he'll dish the ball out a bit more. His playmaking might get better, but it could also get worse. It's just really going to depend with him, and it's hard to tell. But what you can tell is this guy can score. He can get buckets. He gets open around the basket. He gets open on the perimeter. He tries to draw fouls. He is very active. He's very twitchy. He's always moving. Go, 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 constantly. He never runs out of energy. He's going. And if all his career amounts to is like a TJ McConnell, where he's just a really good defender who can score around the basket off the bench, that is a good piece to add to this Pacers roster. Who doesn't want solid bench guards? And if he becomes more than that and he becomes a starter or a good player, who doesn't want that either? Personally, I think that he is worth taking a second round risk on. If you don't think so, leave it in the comments down below. I would love to talk about it, because I enjoy talking with other people who kind of like to scout college prospects, because it helps widen my own knowledge of the game, because speaking with other people with different opinions kind of teaches you a bit, a little something something. So if you disagree with me on Scotty Pippen Jr., please leave it in the comments below, and we can have a nice little discussion on it. I think that'd be fun. If you agree with me, you can also leave that in the comments down below. I love to see appreciation and support and kind of confirmation that what I'm seeing in a player is actually right and I'm not going crazy. So that'd be nice to know. I'll see you guys next time. As always, I'm not funny, and the draft is in a little over a month, and I can't wait. It is going to be a fun draft. It's going to be like last year's draft where we had the lottery pick, but on steroids, because it's even higher, and we have more draft picks. It's going to be fun. See you guys next time.
Just got unlucky on a few plays tonight. You know, one of those plays, I thought he was standing still, but he just hit the shit out of that one guy, and the guy went flying. They blew the whistle, and they called it on him.